Hey guys, so we've been getting a lot and a lot of questions very recently about our chassis mount kits, and exactly how do you measure it? And to be totally honest with you, our website isn't the best at explaining it, so I'm going to fix that right now. So what you're looking at here is a universal kind of chassis mount kit that we will modify based upon your measurements, so that way you can get a chassis mount onto literally any car. And they break down into three very big aspects, three avenues that we've gone down. And we're going to start off first with this one. This is our tried and true. This is the chassis mount kit. So what you get is essentially, I'm going to flip through here. So you're going to get these steel plates that come in and they get welded into the bottom of the car. And from there, we're going to take three measurements. So we're going to take A, so that's from floor to roof, which you can see here represented by the blue line. B, from floor to trunk lid, so that's represented by the white line here. And then, of course, C, which is distance rear. So that's from this point on the bottom of the car, so you'd be sitting here like this point right here is where you'd measure it, to the back bumper. So if you have a offset rule or something along those lines where the organization says, hey, you can't have a wing hanging off your car, this is the measurement to tell us, hey, don't build this wing this far back. Chances are, if you're going to get that kind of rule set, actually that kind of rule set is fairly rare. And so we just tell everybody, if you don't know, just put in 8 inches. That seems to be the pretty common offset that everyone seems to really like. And so but yeah, let me show you how to actually measure it, and it's really not that bad. So what we got here is a Camaro, and I've of course shaded the body out so that way you can see through the body. And when you're looking at your trunk lid or in your trunk area, we'd be underneath this here hatch here, and you'll find your floor. So on your floor here, you'll have spots for tires. You'll have ebbs and flows, of your trunk floor. Ideally, you want to be right next to where that tire goes into that area, because on the other side of this tire wheel well is your frame rail. So your frame rails will essentially be running right along this area where you can see I'm kind of moving the mouse. So that's where your frame rails are. That's where you want to put your chassis mount plates. That's where it's going to be the strongest. And so yeah, so I'm gonna pop in here and do the chassis mount plates, and you can see here, I didn't set the height on this, but you can kind of see how it would fit in there. So you get your plates, you measure from your floor, which would essentially be here, and you would measure it. Here, I'm gonna draw a little sketch on here, so that way we can kind of do the measurements together. I'm gonna measure from this point, which is where I want that plate to be. So I'm gonna measure from that point, and I'm gonna go straight up until I hit the body. And it'll be easiest for me if we go sideways profile. So there's the top of my trunk lid right there. You can see that line is extending from the you can see right there, it's extending from the trunk floor to the trunk lid. That is 18.24 inches. I'm gonna put a little mark on there, so that's 18.24. Right now you jump back over into our ordering screen over here, and then from floor to trunk lid, you put in your 18.24 inches here. Right now, sorry, that's for later. And then from there, we're going to measure again. So this is asking us from floor to roof. So with the help of a buddy, the easiest way to get this measurement is to take a 2x4 or a long stick or something in a level, and stick it, just place that 2x4 at the highest point of your car right here, and put the level on it, and bring that 2x4 down until it's level. At that point, now you can take your measurement. That's going to be saying that you have a straight edge that's level, and then you can go from your chassis point here up to your roof line here. We can see in the drawing it says 39.4, so I'm going to just draw that out so that way we can see it. So boom, see that it says 39.799. So now I'm going to take that measurement, I'm going to jump back into our ordering page, and then what did I say it was? Was it 39? I already forgot. 39.7, always write it down. 39.7 inches. Jump over here, go 39.7 inches. And then, you know, if you were doing a road race car that doesn't have any offset, or a drag race car that doesn't have any offset, you can go right in here and put that distance as a default. Boom, you're done. That's all you need to do to order the Weld-in chassis mount. Now, lately we have updated this with a brash of new customers with varying levels of interest. So what I'm going to do is get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of this here sketch. And let's say you have some down bars that are going inside your car, right? You know, it's part of the cage. You can kind of see here, I added them in. Right there, we have these. Let me close that. Let me close that sketch out and turn these off. So you can see right here, we have these bars, right? Now we're going to do the exact same thing. Now what we're going to be doing is what we call the Weld-in style chassis mount. So that's a bit more where you're going to get 4 tabs, all built to the right height, so it sticks up and out of your car trunk lid, and then you'll get a chassis plate that bolts to that. So what that does is it allows you to pull your 4 bolts. You can open your chassis. It also makes for a very small pylon, very lightweight. It's quickly turning into one of my favorite ways to do this. This is primarily more of a drag racing avenue because drag racers have their bars come further back than, say, a road race car, where that terminates more at the shock towers. So this is quickly for like your no prep guys. This is like beater bomb. Let me see here if I can find it. So this is he just added our wing to his car. You see right here, and the little tabs stick up and out of the trunk lid, and then he's able to bolt the wing on. That way, if he's doing a no prep race, he can run the wing. If he's running a prep race, they don't really necessarily get the benefits from having a wing because the track is just so damn sticky anyway. So he can take it off for that and have a little bit faster run, or if he just wants to cruise around the street with it, which this car, I don't know why you do that. But you can do that. So the way to measure for that is easy. So I'm going to turn this plate, that's the Weld-in tube mount. So this would be essentially how this fits on here, right? So the measurements that we need from here is I need you guys to, I'm going to do a quick sketch on here so we can do the drawings together. Basically, I'm looking here at, from this line down is essentially my no, and this line forward is kind of like my no man's land, right? Because you're going into the glass. We want to avoid the glass at all costs, but we do want to grab the tube. And so what we do is find an area on the tube from no man's land to your edge of your first bend, right? So I'm sitting here going, all right, this is 15. Here, I'll zoom it in a little more. So that is telling me that's about 5 inches, right? So I need to know that length. So send me that length of 5 inches, and then from there, go to here, and then tell me this length. So that'll be 4.36 inches. That'll tell me how high I need to make the tabs. And then here's the tricky part. Grab your iPhone and use that measure app so you can find your angles, and then find this angle, this bar, which on this video is showing us about 12.8 degrees. So I need that as well. And then finally, I need from that point leading into no man's land to your roof height. I need that height as well. So just to cover it all, I need your spot for no man's land. From no man's land, rear till the first bend. So that's the second measurement. Third measurement would be the height from no man's land till you're popping out of the trunk lid. Fifth would be the angle. And then 6 would be going from the no man's land to the roof height. After that, I pretty much got it. And then I can build you something like that looks like this as I hit escape, and my computer's all bogged down because it's recording and there's a computer CAD software. But yeah, then I can go ahead and build you this kit, and like I said, it'll come out just like old beater bombs here. Now there is the third way of doing it, and this is what Crazy Horse has done. You see here, this was the shootout winner. So this is a bit more if you have a ladder inside your trunk lid. So if you're sitting over here and you don't have your trunk floor anymore, you've cut it out. Here, let me turn this wing off here, and let me turn the trunk floor off. And let me turn these 2 tubes off. It's not it. It's the glass. More glass. Ding, ding, cool. So now let's say you have no trunk floor at all. It's all tube. You know, this is like for someone that's gone nuts. This is the measurements that we need for this, right? So what we're going to be doing is giving you some about four to eight tube clamps, and then we're going to clamp onto your cage using tube clamps, and this works pretty good. But this is the measurements that we need. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to turn this pylon off for you real quick. That's like that. Now, let me see if I can find it. There we go. That's it. Let me turn that off. And it should be the next one too. There it is. And that one. All right. So here's the measurements I need. Take it, again, look for your no man's land. That's where like rear glasses or stuff like that. We want to avoid the glass. On this one, I just kind of threw it together. So we're in no man's land a little bit. Actually, no, we're not. We're clear. So on this spot, if you look down, no man's land right here actually is fine because we're not going to be clipping the glass there. So figure out your no man's land of how far is too far forward, and then mark it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just make ourselves a no man's land. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. There we go. So I made this line here, and I'm considering that my no man's land. Then I'm going to take a measurement from the bottom of the lowest bar, and I'm going to measure up until I hit the trunk lid. So right there, that's our trunk lid. And you can enter this order system on our website the same way, and we'll do that here. So right here, I'm seeing this as, let me go ahead and close that out, and I'm going to make sure this has a measurement shown right there. So that's 17.1 inches. So you're going to jump into our website, clear all these out. Yeah, all right, so that'll be the floor to trunk lid. That's 17 inches. And then I need to go from here, and I need to measure out from that bottom point up all the way up to the top of the roof there. So that's 33.76 inches. I'm going to go ahead and define that so we have a measurement listed. So there it is, 33.76 inches. I'm going to jump over into our website here, 33.76 inches. Boom, got that entered. And then, of course, this one is actually going to be kind of important because you need to know how far back to put the wing, because chances are this thing's going to be pretty far inboard. So we're going to go from that, essentially from like the furthest point back you can mount this on the cage. You're going to be more like this point for us here, because we can't move that clamp any further back. So I'm going to move that back here. So right about there, and then yeah, I'll put a line right there, and then escape. I'm going to define this line, and then that's telling us 16 inches, right? So right there, 16 inches. You're going to jump over to here, set your rear distance back, boom, 16 inches. You're good to go. So when you hit buy, now this. If you order buy here and you don't tell us anything, we'll send you chassis plates. If you send me a email saying that, hey, I bought a chassis kit and I want it for this ladder bar system, I'll say okay, and I'll send you back a request for this distance from this bar to that bar, right? So that one's 9.5, and you're just going to give that to me over email, and you'll send it over to me. We'll build you out this kit, and it won't come with the Weld-in plates. It'll come with essentially tube clamps. So we're going to have 4 tube clamps on each side. And again, this is the same thing that Crazy Horse is running. That's the exact same setup he's got. And these little tube clamps here will be part of it. So you can flip one on and off so you can kind of see that's what we got. So that is Chassis Kit Measuring 101. If you got any more questions or anything like that, feel free to give us a shout. And we'll buzz up anything for you and help you win your races. If you need anything else, 9livesracing.com. Hit us up on Facebook, Messenger, whatever it might be. We're happy to help, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.